Welcome, everybody. Glad to be back. And especially today, folks. We have with you for the first half of the show, we have Crystal Laramore. She is the founder of Wheelchairs for Warriors. We're going to get into her background and what that organization does to help veterans. It's an amazing organization. We had the pleasure of meeting her at the Warrior Weekend last September for the Warrior Shield Foundation. She came on the show live while we were down there with Colonel Gadsden. It was a good time, and she's a great person, and we're going to talk all about that organization. Also, we're going to dive into the Trump administration's first press conference, and it was a doozy. It's good to have common sense back in the White House. And then we're going to wrap it up this week with another top five. Jim, I had nothing to do with this, but it was top 5 movie soundtracks.
Yep.
Not my favorite. I can tell you that.
It was a little easier than the last couple, but
I don't know. I'm not a movie soundtrack guy. But anyways, I've got my top 5, and you'll all know it at the end of the show. So that plus so much more, Jim, on another great episode of what?
Live from the Patriot Prayer Network studios. It is two guys.
It is.
One coup. Welcome back, Dale.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Lost in the crowd, truth hides deep, buried in the noise. Left hand deals lies, can't stifle the choice. Fight back rage, flames in the night. No more chains, break free from the fright. Eyes clear now, vision in the dark. We stand up, never bow to the mark. We are the storm, we are the fight. Two guys, one coup, bringing light. No more lies, no more games. Stand tall in truth, break the chains. They spit and scream, push buttons in the dark. Yet we rise, never crumble in the park. Paint our faces with colors bright. March ahead in the dead of night. Shattered dreams won't silence us now. Left and right mix poison in the vow. But we see through, we feel the beat.
I miss that theme song. Glad to be back again, as usual.
Didn't forget, the guy on the left is Dale.
Yeah, I'm Dale. I want to thank, first of all, Rich.
Thank you,
Great
Rich.
Gear Apparel, for filling in for me while I was gone. Jim, you and Rich did a bang-up job. Thank you. I'll talk a little bit about that later. But first, we have with us Crystal Laramore. She's the executive and founder of Wheelchairs for Warriors. She's here to discuss her incredible work providing customized, life-changing mobility solutions for our nation's heroes. She shares the mission behind that organization, the impact it has had on veterans and first responders, and the challenges they face in ensuring those who serve receive the support they deserve. Can you bring Crystal up, please? And we'll talk to her. Crystal, welcome again.
Hi.
Good to see you. As mentioned previously, we did meet at the Warrior Weekend for the Warrior Shield Foundation this past September in Orlando. It was a pleasant visit. We didn't know much about Wheelchairs for Warriors at the time. Really nothing really about it until you came on, until we learned more about you. And of course, we've been wanting to have you on, and we talked recently, and hopefully this becomes like a monthly thing, because you have a goal to reach for this organization, that's for sure. And it's a hefty one, but it can be reached. Yeah. And we're here to help if we can. Again, welcome. Tell us about your background, if you don't mind, and how you started Wheelchairs for Warriors and your affiliation with the Warrior Shield Foundation, how you got involved there as well.
I'm just a groupie now.
I know you are. Yeah, that's what you are, you know.
Just a groupie.
That Colonel Gadsden guy. Yeah.
Yeah. We had him, Ryan Weaver introduced us to Colonel Gadsden, and we had him to be our keynote speaker at our Warrior Shield Foundation fundraiser. And then they keep having him back. We've given him 2 wheelchairs. But we surprised him with an all-terrain outdoor wheelchair at our event. And I don't think there was a dry eye in the room.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Yeah. good.
Yep.
He's a good human.
Oh
Yes, he
boy,
is.
isn't he?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's one of the best.
So, like most things, if we listen to the voice of God, our lives will be easier and things will get to moving a little bit faster. And I'm just still learning at, as years old.
years old. Yep. Us too. Yeah.
So still learning, but when I came back from Baghdad, I owned a restaurant when I left. Someone managed it when I was gone. I came back to it. And for about a year, I didn't want to talk to people. I didn't want to work. I just didn't want to anything because it's 2 years of just constant in a war zone, right? And then I chilled out a little bit, and a guy came into the restaurant, and he owned a newspaper, and he wanted me to write about my time in Baghdad. And so I did, and it was very therapeutic. They didn't trust me with a gun. It seems weird, but no one would give me a gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I can't understand why.
I don't know. Super weird. So I didn't have to go do the up close and personal combat missions and risk my life the way they did. Your life is always a risk when you're in a war zone, period.
Yes.
End of conversation. And you live under a ton of stress. But the writing was very therapeutic for me. And I just started getting a sense of I want to continue my service to our country in some shape, form, or fashion. Not to the point where I was going to join the military, because I had that opportunity when I was really young, and I just didn't want to do that. My whole family, I'm a daughter of the American Revolution. My father's 101st Airborne. He was a medic. My uncle retired as a full bird colonel. We have a very colorful military and first responder past and present and future in our family, like you do too. And so I really wanted to continue the service, and I didn't know how. And a friend of mine works on wheelchairs. He works on wheelchairs for people injured at work, so workman's comp cases. And we would all, as a group, be going to events. I would get tickets to this veterans event or that veterans event, and I wanted to do a nonprofit. I just didn't know what it was going to look like. And so for about a year, this dude's tapping me on my shoulder saying, that veteran has a horrible wheelchair. That's not the right wheelchair for his injury. He doesn't have any legs. And this seat is coming. And, it was just that constant dribble for a year. And I was like, nobody cares about it. Can't fix that. I can't fix it. I know, I get it. They need better care. But unless you're going to do, And then one day, it's like God just took the sledgehammer, hit me over the head with it. And I went, oh, what the years? Oh, that's my nonprofit. Oh, I get it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm supposed to do.
That only took a year, Jesus. That was just a year. Like, I mean, maybe even 11 and a half months. I don't know. The whole year. Yeah. And and this is what I did for a living. I owned a PR firm. I was a political strategist. I did the things. I came up with people's campaign names, business. I did all the things for all the people. I couldn't even figure it out for myself because I was not listening. Anyway, every door has been open. The money always comes in. We're not rich by any stretch of the imagination. We do not have WWP's money. We do not have the VA's money. We don't have the big nonprofits money, but we have the money we need to complete our mission day in and day out. Do I stress about it? I lead this off with saying I'm still trying to learn.
Yeah,
I do. And I don't know it always comes in. We have 20, and we serve veterans and first responders. And that came from me coming back from Baghdad and going with people to their events, Secret Service agents who are running for office, former Secret Service agents, one who worked for 4 presidents. He's just a real badass in his own right. That's I don't know what that was. And
that's his bug.
That's right. Yeah. And when we would be at events, they would say, if you're a veteran, please stand up. And I would look at him and he, we're not going to honor that guy put his life on the line through 4 presidents, And what about our police officers and firefighters and EMT? So I wanted to make sure that it was warriors, that we were serving warriors. And when the name Wheelchairs for Warriors came about in my brain in an instant like that, I was like, that's perfect, because I was had tunnel vision with just serving veterans.
Sure.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out, not only are veterans delayed and denied care by their primary health care provider,
Mm-hmm.
so are first responders.
It's unreal.
It's
unbelievable.
Unreal. And I had the pleasure and the honor to go to a conference called the Wounded Blue Conference, and Randy Sutton you should have him on your podcast as well. And
Randy Sutton.
Yeah, and he founded the Wounded Blue, and Tom Smith, who's a retired New York PD officer.
Okay. Yep, it's going around.
I know.
Trust me, the whole house has that. So. Yep.
But Tom Smith is on our honorary board of directors, and Tom introduced us to Randy Sutton, and we went to the Wounded Blue Conference, and I was shocked. My eyes were so opened into the LEO community about their struggles and their PTS and how they also have to fight with their healthcare provider. It was, I cried like during this whole thing. I was just like, just so sad. And what was conveyed to me that I didn't understand in the past was you're a veteran, you've got a tour of duty. It's 3 months, it's 6 months, whatever it is. That's your tour of duty. You're in a war zone for that much time. You're a police officer. You may wake up in the morning and go to a fire where there's a kid that burned to death. Right. You may go to a car crash where somebody else died. You may hit 7 war zones in one day.
Correct. Yep. That's right.
And one of the things that we've realized along the way in this mission that we would have never, ever thought of is saving lives, is keeping people from eating a bullet for lunch.
Yep.
Is that when they're delayed and denied care, so no man left behind, right?
Correct.
Okay. So we're going to go out there on the battlefield and we're going to drag their broken, shot up, beat up body off the battlefield. We're going to get them to the hospital, get them as fixed up as we can. Then we're going to put them in a wheelchair that's subpar.
Yeah.
If they get a wheelchair, and then we're just going to leave them in their living room to struggle through with this 52-pound heavy wheelchair or this other thing. And we're not going to help them get a basketball chair. We're going to tell them, well, we already gave you a chair, and every 5 years you can get another chair. Yeah. Well, let me tell you, in 5 years, a guy who is an alpha male who has gone on missions before, he's still going on those missions in his wheelchair. They're popping wheelies. They're going here. They're going here. 5 years. They need a new wheelchair before 5 years is up, right?
Correct.
So our mission is to give them whatever they want. Our mission is no man left behind, not only on the battlefield, but also on the home field.
Yeah.
So we're not having it. Do you need this wheelchair for getting around the house? Do you need this wheelchair for hunting and fishing? Do you need this wheelchair for basketball?
Yeah.
Or pickleball?
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding. Now
we do.
It's amazing how I've seen it.
Yeah.
I was like, we're doing a what? Okay.
A pickleball chair.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it.
It's incredible.
I'll be the first.
It's incredible. And then so let me ask you a question about it. I mean, there had to be design in all of this. You had to work with, I guess, people who help design wheelchairs
I can do it all day long. Don't you worry. I'm joking.
All right. Yeah. I was going to say, I mean, that's not an easy task.
No.
You know that.
And that's a really good question, because what we're doing is we're sending out an ATP, which is an accessible technology professional, assistive. See, I don't even know what they're called. ATP and a CRTS, which is complex rehab seating technician, right?
Yes.
So complex, we don't do that much. I really feel like when you leave our care, we want you to be better off, not worse off. And a sip and puff, if you can only move a finger or go to move your wheelchair, you really do need the VA or a doctor. That's beyond our capabilities.
Yeah, correct.
So we have somebody that flies all over the country. Well, not somebody, a lot of somebodies. There's a network of them, right? So we just type in a zip code, we find an ATP, we call them and talk to them, because we want our veterans treated and our first responders treated with the respect that they deserve. Yeah. So we want it to be somebody's passion, not just a job. So we have some questions, and we chat with them, and we ask surprise questions and see how they answer, and how long have you been doing this, and why do you do it, and all the things, right? So then we'll find somebody that we love, and we'll send them out to the veteran's home. And then we call the veteran or the first responder and we say, so how was the visit? And so we get a report back.
Yeah.
And I think if you're in this business, we haven't ever had a bad report.
Good.
You know, knock on wood. I think that if you're in this business, that you've got to care about humans. It's
correct.
You know, and so
yeah, that's first and foremost. You have to care about humans. You can't be in the business and not. So
we do a complex rehab seating clinic with them, and the technician stays for a couple of hours, finds out how they are living. Do they need ramping from another nonprofit? Do they need this? Do they need that? What's going on in their life? Do they want to go play sports? What do you want? What's Santa Claus coming to town? What you want?
Yep, correct. Correct. Wow.
On your website, wheelchairsforwarriors.org, we'll get into that and we'll talk about that more. What I like, and folks, if you get a chance to, again, it's wheelchairsforwarriors.org. Go out and look. There's a picture. You have a list of recipients. And I thought that was really cool. You got to see them in their wheelchairs and the smiles and everything that appreciated that. So from a standpoint that Dale and I just started, we work a lot with Warrior Shield, which again is where we met you, and it's got to make you feel good, right? When you tell us what it's like when you. I don't know if you deliver the chair personally or if it's sent or how, but tell us how that is done and just the look on the faces when, like you talked about Colonel Gadsden, but look on the faces of the recipients that actually receive these and just the respect and the appreciation they feel for that.
Yeah. You know, what they all understand from the beginning is that this money that we have that we're spending on them and the effort and the time doesn't come from the government. This money comes from individuals, from foundations and corporations, but it comes from people, no matter whether you're a corporation or you're a foundation or you're an organization, you know, like a American Legion Women's Auxiliary or this or that or the other, or, you know, Dale and Jim. The money comes from individuals and they're very grateful. And if they're not grateful, we haven't chat with them.
Yeah.
Just a tweak in that. We're not, this isn't our job. We're serving you, you know, and in every business and in every walk of life, you know, you have a few that are kind of demanding and we're like,
Yeah, correct.
Just slow your roll there, Tiger.
Yeah.
But 98% of those that we serve are so grateful. And the interesting thing, another thing we learned along the way is we're not just serving the warrior, we're serving their family and we're serving their caregiver, which is typically a male with his legs blown off, not typically a woman.
Yeah.
But the woman is the caregiver, typically the wife, and typically the children are there. So what do you do if you know, what happens if dad's wheelchair is 52 pounds and clunky and horrible, and every time, you know, we're going to go to the baseball game for the kids, t-ball or this or that. And it's like, oh, you know, the little tiny wife like me, Rebecca, this one story that just had me literally, I was almost on my knees. I had to walk out of their house to have a breakdown.
Yeah.
She showed me the trunk of her car where she would have to drag his wheelchair over the trunk of their car. She needed an SUV to get everybody to where they were going, but she couldn't lift the wheelchair, and he had a spinal cord injury, and he certainly couldn't lift the wheelchair, and the kids were little. Nobody could lift it. So she would just kept this low riding car so that she could drag this wheelchair, and showed me all the scratches and the dents and how heavy the chair was. And it was an institutional wheelchair, something that you would have a baby and they make you go to your car.
Yeah, just wheel you out of a hospital, whatever. After,
opposed to lightweight titanium, 14 pound, weighs as much as an 16, right? Yeah. So his seat was slack like this because he had the wheelchair so long. She had put bath towels on the seat so that he wasn't sitting on the frame.
Wow. Okay. Holy smokes.
I just walked out. I said, I'll be right back. And I walked out of the house and I thought, no, we got to do better than this as a country.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Correct.
Yes.
That's got to be really good for that spinal cord injury. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no kidding.
So when we presented their chair to them at an American Legion or a VFW, I can't remember which one, she went to pick up the wheelchair because we knew when we said, hey, Rebecca, pick that wheelchair up.
Yeah.
and she almost flung it across the room. It was so
Yep.
light to her, and she started bawling.
That's
Sure.
And then he started crying, and then the kids started crying, and then everybody in the VFW started crying.
Yeah.
And it was just like, okay, bye. That's it.
I mean, that's what it's about. That's what it's for. And it shouldn't have never gotten to that point. That's the whole point of this mission.
in groups like,
yeah.
Sorry, Dale.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Groups like yours, groups like the one thing that I think, and again, I'm trying not to get too political with this, but I think one of the things that's really pointed out the neglect of our veterans was when we gave all the money to the illegals that were coming into this country. And people were realizing that, oh my God, we're giving all this money to these illegals, and we still have homeless veterans. We still have veterans who can't get proper care. We have, and honestly, those of us that appreciate what the veterans do, that appreciate what first responders do, we stepped up. And now I think groups like yours and groups like Warrior Shield are going to be better for it, because we're helping them. We want to put out there and get that. So I just thought that was kind of,
you do what Americans do and you step up to the plate. Yeah, when times are tough. Correct.
I just get a bottle of opioids this big, and
really. Yeah, that's basically
unfortunately
what it was.
I've never seen so many drugs ever in my whole life as I do when I go into veterans' homes.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Like,
one drug to cure this, then that drug has to combat that because of the side effects of that. It's just an ongoing snowball effect of medications instead of what they really need, which is either, actual psychological help or the physical help or what you do and provide. I was going to ask that when you were talking about recently. We used a wheelchair from my wife is a nurse, works for a doctor's office and all that. We borrowed a wheelchair for my elderly mother, and I folded that thing up and picked it up, and it was one of those you were talking about, just a standard, institutional wheelchair. And I'm like, holy crap, this thing's heavy, bulky, really almost impossible to kind of maneuver into. You even fold it up. It's wide, it's big, it's I'm like, these are terrible, And so I was going to ask you, what was it made out of? How do you make them? What's the average cost? Because this is important to provide a wheelchair for a veteran or first responder who needs it, because that's really the whole mission. And that's where people can pitch in, and where you need help is reaching those goals so you can keep doing what you do. What's the cost on one of those on average? I know they're different.
$10,000.
Yeah.
$10,000.
Right.
And we're building with titanium carbon fiber. And that's not just the cost of the wheelchair. We do $900 seats. We do cushions, we do backs, we do special wheels, we do lighting. We have to have a rehab seating specialist go there. We have to ship it to him. We have to send the seating specialist back. And then we all go back for the presentation when it's a compelling story or they don't mind the media or people there, so it's not, we're not going to CVS or Walgreens and picking up a clunker.
No,
we're providing, special wheels with the thumb drive, so they're not getting their hands caught in the spokes.
Correct.
And we do, look, if you've lost a leg, an arm, a thing, if you've been blown up, any of the things, you probably don't sit straight.
Yep.
So what we do is put a seating, it's called a seating map, and they sit on it, and the technology is infrared stuff in there, and it pops up on the ATP's computer screen. And we give them a seat that has air fingers in it, kind of like a sleep number bed.
Sure. Oh, okay.
So the cushion will go like this, so that when he sits down, his body is level.
Yes.
And his spine is straight.
Wow. It's incredible.
Whatever they want, and it's like, also, if they burn pit story, Jacob, one of our guys, Jacob, was exposed to USMC, exposed to the burn pits. Got back home, young guy, early 20s, kids, wife, all the things. All of a sudden, his bones start popping out of joint. He doesn't know what's wrong. Connective tissue disorder.
Okay.
Young, healthy guy has connective tissue disorder.
Yeah, nuts.
Oh, and some other guys have it too. Oh, okay. Probably the burn pits.
Mm-hmm.
He was on, when we met him, he was so poor. They were living in a 1-bedroom apartment.
Take your time.
They were living in a 1-bedroom apartment because they didn't have any money, because he couldn't work. And he also couldn't take care of the kids. So she was there. So they were on food stamps and whatever they could get. And he was on 10% disability.
10%.
And when we did his evaluation, his shoulder would just sitting there, his shoulder would just come out of joint, or his hips.
Jeez.
So we gave him the lightweight titanium wheelchair. And for an extra $9,000, we gave him what's called a smart drive, which looks like a handheld vacuum cleaner, and you put it on the back of the wheelchair, and he could operate it with a Bluetooth watch.
Oh, wow.
Good.
Yeah. So
Great.
now you're talking about a $22,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So you're right. Yep, you're right. So each case is different. I get that, and that's well, it's just tragic.
And to see your passion too. I mean, that's what makes this show that you are where you need to be and what you're doing. And because it can't be easy seeing these. So our first responders, our heroes, right?
That's right.
And being treated the way they're being treated. And so they're getting nothing from the VA. This family got nothing from the VA.
He got a clunky wheelchair that was falling apart. And when he would work on it, the VA said, well, you've worked on it yourself. So they call it, I was wrenching on my wheelchair. I know so much.
Jeez.
I know so much cool technology now.
Yeah.
Bingo. And because he did that, they took him out of the program for that and for PTS.
You're kidding me.
Mm-mm.
This is unbelievable.
You've got somebody sitting at the desk at the VA taking a paycheck.
Yeah.
We have a little comment here that I want to post because this is said. He said it very well. This is Mike, who are
Mike.
Part of our network from To the Point podcast. God bless those doing the good work for our heroes. So
you got that right.
It's you. So.
Yeah, you got that right. It's God bless you is correct.
We have a good team, and our whole team is, passionate about the mission, and we're serving those who served us.
That's right. It seems like a simple enough task, but the truth of the matter is it takes funding and a lot of it. It's what it takes. And we have people.
That's why the $5 donation here, the $5
it doesn't
donation
matter.
there.
Anything helps. And so tell people where they can go to help. If they want to get involved, or if they know somebody who needs help from Wheelchairs for Warriors, they can reach out to you as well. How do people get a hold of you and help?
If you send a check, don't make it out to me. We had a $10,000 check mailed to us.
Oh, you're kidding me.
It out to me, and I was like, well, I'll see.
Oh, well. Hey, look at me.
My administrative assistant took a picture of it because she was all excited. I said, Savannah, when you take that.
I mean, BLM did it. Why can't you?
Yeah, BLM did it all the time.
I bank at the same bank. And so it made me quit banking at the same bank because I thought, what if they do make that mistake? I'm not going to prison for.
I know.
Right.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I was like, Savannah, go tell the manager that can't go into my bank account.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So we're trying to get one of our goals this year is we do appreciate those big donations, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000. We've had $27,000 donations, $40,000 donations. We appreciate all that. What we're trying to do this year is get our monthly giving up. And we have a Touch 22 program for $22 a month. And that's in honor of Jacob.
Oh, okay.
That's in honor of him, because he was the one who told us that before we showed up, before I called him, actually, he was going to commit suicide.
Do you see? Yep.
So that was in an interview. One of our videographers was doing an interview with Jacob, and the videographer came into the boardroom. We were having a board meeting, and he said, like he was shaking.
Sure.
He said, "You know?" And I said, "I did not know
Mhm.
that."
Yeah.
So, so in honor of Jacob, we have the Touch 22, and any amount. We've got people donating $100 a month,
Mhm.
$10 a month. When I see $5 donations, I get weepy because I know that's a lot for that person.
Correct. That you're right.
That's a lot. That's
Yeah.
it's the widow's mite. It's like
Mhm.
just going to give all I have, and that really touches my heart a lot too.
Sure.
Yeah, a $5
Sure.
million donation would touch me too.
Yeah, I guess it would.
That's the one you're hope. Well, maybe it's in my name.
Maybe not.
Maybe that one didn't. But I'll tell you, we struggled to raise. We haven't raised $1 million in a year yet, and at 40 something wheelchairs last year,
Yeah.
at the average cost of 10,000, and as you see, some are more,
Mhm.
some are less. It takes a lot. We still have to pay rent at the warehouse. We still have to pay an admin. We still have to pay the bills. We still have all the things that we need to do.
Yeah.
And we probably are, going to need at least $1 million this year. We ended the year with 20 still on our wait list, served 40, 20 on the wait list, and already we have 30 on the wait list.
See?
And we're at the almost February 1st, and they're just coming in.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
So can they go to wheelchairs for warriors.org and there's a donate button, I'm assuming, and they can go
you can
on
mail a check to the P.O. box. You can mail
Okay.
a check to the office. You can donate online.
Online is where you can do the reoccurring, I would think, right? Wouldn't it be
You can
just
do
kind of
recurring, or you can just donate online any amount. I've had people
Okay.
donate 10 grand online before.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think that's the most that I've ever seen online donating. And there's legacy giving. We have people who want to leave some money to us in their will. I just had a 3-day conversation with a woman and her attorney where she's leaving us some money. She said, "My kids don't need it." And I said, "Do they know that?
Do they know they don't need
Are they going to come
They're
after
about to find out. I mean, that's just surprise, kids.
We have another comment here from Maurice, who is a part of our network as well. He says, "Thank you for the work you do." This network is very appreciative of our warriors as well as the people who help them. And we are a big group for that. That's one thing that's why we love being a part of this network, because every single one of us does whatever we can to support
all about veterans and first responders and and children. And I mean, there's just all sorts of and we have people on, Crystal, that we're like, please give, please donate. They're all great causes. They're all they're great causes. And I know money's tight, and I know people have to be careful on their own budgets where they go.
Even though there's some people like Sonny Hostin who's still upset because the egg prices haven't come down.
Yeah, that's right.
I know. That's true. Yeah, that was clearly
I want everybody to pay attention to the Department of Defense Warrior Games. We were invited last year, and we were a pit crew for the Warrior Games, and it was this one of those God things. I was like, $10,000 for a booth? I'm not paying that. So I said, "Can we be a pit crew? Can we just like wrench on people's wheelchairs when they need it? We'll bring tires, and we'll bring we'll bring all the things." So all the teams loved it. SOCOM, Marines, Army, everybody loved that we were there in the middle. Their team couldn't help them. We could help them and all the things. But one of our recipients, Jason Tabansky, won gold at the Paralympics.
Nice.
Awesome. We have another one who has won his John Houston. He has, I think that's right. This guy's a beast as well, and they're in archery, and they win all the things.
Jeez,
they're amazing, and we're putting them in wheelchairs that help serve their purpose. Get them out and give them.
And you spoke about it too. I mean, I think what really mattered, too, was talking about, Jacob, and the fact that he was, how close to ending it. How close are all of them to ending it? And so that's why it's so very, very important. That Department of Defense game, where's that at, and when does that take place?
So they do that in different places. Last year it was in Orlando, Florida, at the ESPN Center at Disney. This year it's going to be in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I think next year in San Antonio, and then somewhere else. And then I think San Antonio's got it for the next 4 out of 5 years.
I'm going to look that up. I had not
Yeah,
heard.
that
I
would
had
be
not
kinda-
even heard
that'd be
about it.
kind of
That's-
interesting.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you should join us and come along and
We
set up
should.
a podcast.
We should.
And let's
Yeah.
just have
Actually,
a party.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be a good
cool.
time. That would be good. That'd be an honor to be there as well,
Live.
so no doubt
Live.
about it.
Yeah.
Here, put that up there if you can,
Yep,
right
got
there.
it.
Thank you, Buckeye. She's
Yeah,
great listener of ours. But wheelchairs for
thank you.
warriors.org. Please go there. Please donate. Crystal, I think maybe if you've got time, we'll, maybe let's push this as much as we can this year. Let's
course.
talk to everybody. We have more stories and more things to talk about next month. If you can come back, maybe we do this kind of near the end of the month every month.
And if
if you're okay with
anybody
that.
out there wants to host a golf tournament or any kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
event and you need a charity, we'll show up. And
Yep.
we help promote that. Like
Yep.
we have our own media list. So we partner with organizations
Mhm.
to help spread their name as well as ours, right?
Yep.
So we've got our media contacts and we do all the fun things and bells and whistles. And
There's a lot of golf tournaments near Mar-a-Lago. Maybe we can, maybe.
maybe I'll need a move to
maybe. We know some people that know some people that know.
We know some people.
I don't know if y'all knew it or not, but
Yeah.
on January 20th, we had a new president that was sworn into office.
I heard. Mhm.
And I mean, I know it's kind of subdued and nobody's really talking about it. And I watched the whole day with my laptop on my lap, on my sofa, all snugly in my Mar-a-Lago robe that I got when I got to go to Mar-a-Lago in December. I got invited by a donor,
Yeah.
and I got to go. So I had my Trump hat on,
Mhm.
and I had my Mar-a-Lago robe on, and
Awesome. Nice.
style.
Nice. That's our goal. Our goal is to hit Mar-a-Lago one day.
Yeah, and if you have some people, like when we have you on the end of next month, if you have some individuals that you think would be a good idea to come on,
like you had
let
told
us
us about Randy Sutton and all that.
Let us
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
We can- yeah.
Yes, I want to get Tom Smith on there for sure.
Okay. All right.
He's received a Lifetime Achievement Award, Medal of Honor award for NYPD for police officers across the country. The whole
Mhm. Yeah.
something.
Wow.
Something. It's on our
Yeah.
website. But anyway, he's amazing, and he has a podcast called Gold Shield. So
Okay.
that's like he's had Nancy Grace on there. Anyway, that
Oh, nice.
podcast
Yeah.
guy, and they they're police officers, so they're into that true crime stuff. It's
I
like,
love it. We love it. We love true crime.
I would
We're
love
crazy.
Gold Shield. Yeah.
It'd be probably the other one that and a sports podcast would probably be our other two. If we could do this full time every day, we'd have multiple. True crime would be definitely up there. We love it. So
Actually, yeah, it was.
yeah, we're kind of addicted
It's
to
the
that.
number one. It's the number one growing, or probably the number one of all podcasts everywhere. I think it's true crime.
It is.
I met a lady at a pod. Did y'all ever go to Podfest?
No, not yet. We've talked about it. I know. Why? I don't know.
Okay,
I know,
so
we gotta
I've been to Podfest. We wanted to have a podcast, but in our spare time, we decided we didn't have enough spare time. So
Yep, correct. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
So we're
for
just
sure.
going to go be on people's podcasts. But
Makes sense.
I met the lady that does military murders.
Oh.
Okay.
I was like, well, how many are there if you're
That's
doing
what
a
I'm
podcast?
Mhm.
Aren't you shocked by how many? Absolutely shocked by how many murder shows or how many that show Snapped where wives kill their husbands. How many wives are killing their husbands?
I understand.
I don't like my wife watching that one.
No, they take notes during it.
Don't
Here's how
watch
Especially
that
when you
got
look
caught.
over and she's taking notes.
Yeah, this is how she got caught.
So she got
Cut
caught
off the list.
doing that. So if I do this,
Yes. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But anyways, Crystal, we'll let you go. Feel better.
Yeah.
We know
Oh,
you're
feel
catching
better.
a little something. So the world needs more Crystals out there. So
Aw,
please,
that's so sweet.
take care of yourself. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for spending time with us.
Man,
We
thank
can't
you
wait
for
till you
letting
come
me-
back.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. You
We'll
tell
have
us
you
when
back.
you've got time next month and we'll schedule it for sure.
Okay.
And we'll talk more, bring more stories, hit us up with whoever you think we should have on the show. We'd love to have them. It'd be an
Okay.
honor to speak with Tom Smith. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's
So-
amazing.
God bless.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, Jimmy.
Awesome.
I'm telling you, that's a
Awesome.
tremendous person. You can tell you're right. Well, you said it best. The passion that she has out there has been absolutely, it comes through. You can see it. Everybody can see it. It's quite the need That's for sure. You wouldn't think it, right? You think, oh, our veterans are going to get we know the issues VA have. We know all of that. But as far as the accessibility things and what you never realize how just crappy all that equipment is and everything else. So Crystal, again, thank you for coming on. That was an absolute pleasure. We cannot wait till she comes back. Remember, folks, Tarna, thank you for all you do, Crystal. That is for sure. Remember to go here. I'm going to play Buckeye's other one. Thank you. God bless her. I just wanted to put that up again. Yep. Wheelchairsforwarriors.org. Please go to wheelchairsforwarriors.org. You can donate. Once you can do the reoccurring, the Touch 22 program, where you just $22 a month, and you heard the cost of all of that. So that's what it's going to take. Crystal, thank you again. Jim, real quick, we haven't done it, so let's go to Grit Gear commercial. We will be right back after this.
Grit is defined as firmness of character, unyielding courage in the face of hardship or danger. At Grit Gear Apparel, we honor all military, police, fire, public service, and patriotic Americans, both men and women regardless of color, creed, or religion. Our brand represents the love and freedom for our country, the heroism of all our men and women, and the principles of what this wonderful country was built on. Our goal is to regenerate the sense of patriotism and to spark the American pride within us, to stand together in the toughest times and become victorious, to preserve all our freedoms, to honor our flag, and to respect the men and women who have fought and died for us to have these freedoms. Wear our brand with pride, with a sense of patriotism, and as a statement for the love of our country. Whether you're military, public official, or civilian, our brand is for you. Together we stand as Americans.
Grit Gear, folks.
I'm sorry. Do you do it now that I'm back? Or is that?
Well, you were looking down and it ended, so I didn't want to have downtime because I am a professional.
Did I lose my talking spot now that I'm back? I mean, I know like you don't show up, you get demoted. I get it. I understand completely. Oh, I mean, that's what happened.
You were looking down and not saying anything. I felt I
was
needed
answering
to say
our good friend Mike at To The Point podcast.
I understand. I get it.
All right. GritGearApparel.com, folks. GritGearApparel.com. Thank you, Buckeye. And don't forget LockandLoadCoffee.com. There you go. Lock and Load shirt and the Grit Gear. Just amazing stuff. Amazing people. Rich. Everybody knows Rich by now.
Everybody knows Rich.
You know who you're supporting a true America First company, veteran supported, family owned and operated. Use coupon code 2guys, get 10% off your order. Get 10% off every order. Correct, Jim? That's correct. How it is. GritGearApparel.com, LockandLoadCoffee.com. Do we have any comments on there? Oh,
we do. I want to see.
Sorry, God. Damn it, Dale.
I have to play that one, Rich. Thank you, Crystal. You guys are great over Wheelchair Warriors. And hopefully she comes to the Warrior.
I'm sure she probably will. She says she's a groupie now, so of course she's going to show up.
Dale, we wearing.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Isn't it nice? It's nice, and a belated happy birthday to you, Buckeye. I know it was the same day.
Isn't that cool?
Jimmy's. That's crazy.
Two of the greatest people I know on the same day. I mean, that's awesome. That's just awesome. That is awesome. Rich tells us to calm down.
Okay, girls, calm down. And there it is. LockandLoadCoffee.com. Thank you. Thanks, Rich. It's always good to hear from you. First of all, before we get into girls, I know. Before we get into some of the news of the day and some of the things we want to talk about, I do want to take this moment to thank that guy sitting there on the screen, Jim, who came to my father's memorial service, took a 3-hour trip to spend basically 5 minutes with me, which was it meant so much to my family and so much to me in general that I literally I couldn't have I can't ask for a better friend and a better podcast co-host than you, Jim. So thank you to you and your wife for making that journey. It was a long journey, and honestly, it made my mother's whole night. Really, honestly, she was super, like, she was starstruck, Jim.
And you know this, even in Florida, I would have been down there.
I know that, brother. So, yeah. But I appreciate that. My mom did say one thing, she just said, she goes, Jim looks bigger on TV.
Oh, well, that's good.
He's not. I think she's just so used to me making fun of you. Like she expected this absolute moose to walk into the just blob to walk right in.
Wow.
I said, no, thanks, Mom. That's perfect. I'll let him know you said that.
It was funny because there's a lot of people that your mom, she didn't recognize me without my hat.
She didn't. I know. Isn't it weird? Yeah. It's
no, it was
bizarre.
my pleasure, and that's what we do. So.
Yeah, that's what we do. It's what we do. Anyways, enough of that. And then again, Rich, thank you for filling in for me on that. That was I really do appreciate it. Okay, so let's get into a couple. What does this say? Starstruck over Jim, please. I mean,
that would be one of my
siblings.
siblings.
Shocked myself.
That would be my sister. Thank you.
that I was shocked too. Tarna, yeah, we also found it very humorous. Anyways, folks, let's talk about the Trump administration held their first press conference. With the new
adults are back in the room.
Huh? The adults are back in the room.
Adults are back in the room.
What is her name? What is her name? Carolyn Leavitt.
Levitt.
Is it Levitt or Leavitt? Carolyn Leavitt. I thought she did a bang up job. I've got a couple things I want to play.
CNN felt she was really rude.
Of course she was, because she said this Joe sleeping upstairs kind of comment. You know,
I mean, the 17 people that watched it.
Yeah, I know. But there were some very interesting takes from that. And I'm going to start with her opening statement, and we'll go into a couple takes. But in case you didn't hear, and I'm sure a lot of you have, let's review. But you haven't heard our opinions.
She is going to be fun.
She's going to be fun. She is no Karine Jean-Pierre, thank the Lord. Here she is. Let's hear from.
How are we? Good to see all of you. It's an honor to be here with all of you. A lot of familiar faces in the room, a lot of new faces. And President Trump is back, and the golden age of America has most definitely begun. The Senate has already confirmed 5 of President Trump's exceptional cabinet nominees: Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. It is imperative that the Senate continues to confirm the remainder of the president's well-qualified nominees as quickly as possible. As you have seen during the past week, President Trump is hard at work fulfilling the promises that he made to the American people on the campaign trail. Since taking the oath of office, President Trump has taken more than 300 executive actions, secured nearly $1 trillion in U.S. investments, deported illegal alien rapists, gang members, and suspected terrorists from our homeland, and restored common sense to the federal government.
Wow. Can you believe that happened? All true.
And can you believe all of those homophobic Democrats that didn't vote for Bessent?
Yeah,
I can't believe
I know.
that.
You're right.
Oh, I can't believe the hatred towards the LGBTQ community.
Right.
That
obviously,
Democrats
they're
showed.
homophobic. They have to be, right? I mean, it was true when we didn't support Buttigieg, right? We were homophobic. That was clearly it. It wasn't a policy issue. It was a matter of fact that we're just homophobic. Yeah, sorry, Aiken. I'm constantly telling my dog to leave it. Yeah, I know. But, so that was kind of her opening statement. She had some really good. Yeah. This one here, I didn't know this, and we would never know this if Trump wasn't in office. But what the Department of Government Efficiency had already discovered. Let's listen. What she said.
Leave it in. Is this part of the withholding the money, the grants, and is this part of that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Anyways, let's listen and then we'll talk about it. This is what they were going to spend money on.
Pause. Doge and OMB have actually found that there was $37 million that was about to go out the door to the World Health Organization.
37 million about to go to World Health Organization. That's not the crazy one.
No.
Here comes the crazy one.
I think I know what it is.
Yeah, here comes the crazy one.
which is an organization, as you all know, that President Trump, with the swipe of his pen and that executive order, is no longer wants the United States to be a part of. So that wouldn't be in line with the president's agenda. Doge and OMB also found that there was about to be 50 million taxpayer dollars that went out the door to fund condoms in Gaza. That is a preposterous waste of taxpayer money.
It's a lot of freaking
condoms.
condoms.
Cause is focused on being good stewards of tax dollars.
I wasn't aware, there's a lot of goats and camels now that are very worried at this point now that that's not coming around.
Okay, honestly, do you honestly think the 50 million is going to go towards condoms?
No, of course it wasn't. But that's
They're
what they
go
listed
to
it
Hamas.
It's going to go to Hamas. $50 million. And, folks, we just had Crystal on, who's begging for funds to help our first responders and veterans get the care they need. And this is the crap that was going on in the government under the Biden administration. When I heard that, I had to hear it like 5 times. Like, did she just say condoms? Did I just hear condoms? And I did.
This is why they're holding up the money, folks. So all these people getting upset that, oh my God, we're going to shut down this and shut down that. There's a reason they're holding this money up, because of crap like that.
Correct.
We got to find out what this money's going for. We no longer, maybe instead of DEI practices at this particular location, maybe that money can go towards Wheelchair for Warriors or Warrior Shield or something to help our veterans. Maybe, just maybe.
Corporal Chad O. Maybe can go to that. Ones that matter. It's unbelievable.
Right.
Those poor goats. I know. Barebacking it all.
There's gonna be a lot of venereal diseases around goats now.
There's gonna be a lot of. Is that where goat cheese comes from? I don't know. I'm just asking.
For those of you out there who enjoy goat cheese, you can thank Dale.
You're welcome. Anyways, so that she had that to say. This is interesting, and I love this. And we'll get into a little bit about this in a minute, but let's listen to this portion of the press conference.
The House believes strongly in the First Amendment, so it's why our team will work diligently to restore the press passes of the 440 journalists whose passes were wrongly revoked by the previous administration. We're also opening up this briefing room to new media voices who produce news-related content and whose outlet is not already represented by one of the seats in this room. We welcome independent journalists, podcasters, social media influencers, and content creators to apply for credentials to cover this White House. And you can apply now on our new website, whitehouse.gov/new media.
Nice.
Starting today, this seat in the front of the room, which is usually occupied by the press secretary's staff, will be called the new media seat. My team will review the applications and give credentials to new media applicants who meet our criteria and pass United States Secret Service requirements to enter the White House complex. So in light of these announcements, our first questions for today's briefing will go to these new media members whose outlets, despite being some of the most viewed news websites in the country, have not been given seats in this room.
Nice. I mean,
can you imagine? Here's how, if you and I, because Rich, Rich says Dale and Jim
in the White House. Bam.
Here's my first question.
Has filled out an application, so we'll see what happens.
Here's my first question to her. You're pretty.
Okay, so you're out. You won't pass the Secret Service background check. So
I would.
Well,
I think I'd be more worried about you.
I mean, you with that, you're pretty. They might keep you out. No, it's interesting, I mean, but people like Dan Bongino, people like James O'Keefe applied. I mean, these are the people that are going to get in that room. It's going to be amazing to watch. What CNN, a good
and MSNBC are losing their shit, man. They're losing because they're like, their podcasts are going to be, I just can't believe this. They're not real journalists. We're more journalists than they are.
You're right. You're absolutely right about it. And they know that. And they're fair as that. It's Trump administration.
Yes, Dragon. Let's not make that mistake.
Yeah.
You are correct.
DoWhiteHouse.com. You're right. Org.
But it's nice to have a press secretary who sounds intelligent, who doesn't have to
See a duck.
make up everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that she actually meets with the president. How many times do you think KJP met with Biden? How many times?
I mean, rare.
Probably very little.
You ever see any pictures of a meeting? I mean, really? There's no pictures of. Yeah, very little, no doubt. I like this one, Aiken. When is Cat Turd getting his press pass? Agreed. I mean, those are it's true. There's so many that deserve it. There's so many great podcasts out there and so many independent journalists that actually do their job. That would be absolutely amazing to see all of that happening. So that happened. That was just some of the press conference. I have a couple more things, Jim, if you got a minute.
Mm-hmm.
We're mass deporting a lot of illegals in this country.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Did it start?
And I've heard it started, and I've also heard that historically low border crossings are happening as well at this point. Now, imagine that. They interviewed a girl who was shipped back by bus to Colombia or wherever, and she told everybody, do not go. They are literally kicking everybody out. Do not go. Just don't go. They're deporting them all. I love the questions about, we're deporting all these poor kids. We're going into schools. We're doing all these things. People we're not, but that, we shouldn't be doing this. That all these people are here. We're a nation of immigrants. We're all this crap. Let's hear from the Messiah, Barack Obama, back in 2014.
The deporter in chief, mind you.
The deporter in chief. Let's listen to what he had to say in 2014. Does it sound familiar?
If you're a criminal, you'll be deported.
Really?
If you plan to enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up. The actions I'm taking are not only lawful, they're the kinds of actions taken by every single Republican president and every single Democratic president for the past half century.
5.3.
Yeah.
He deported.
Yeah.
5 point. Now, how come The View?
Nobody's screaming
I'm not
there.
playing any more View crap, but
No,
how come people on The View aren't talking about that?
Correct.
This is horrible what they're doing.
Yep.
But it was okay when he did it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I get it.
It was okay
I
when
agreed with
Hillary
him doing it.
ran.
One of the few things I
go
agreed
ahead.
with Obama on is deporting. One
Yes.
of the very few things he did it.
And as it should be.
Yep.
And then all of the interviews with Tom Homan and all that, you're deporting and JD Vance and all that. You're deporting all these farm workers, all these. Let's hear. So you want to hear? I don't know.
Yep.
I witnessed a murder on TV. I did. I witnessed a murder, and that murder was of Jake Tapper, and that murder was of Stephen Smith. He was the murderer. Listen to this couple-minute interview, and you tell me. I mean. Here we go.
Because one of the reasons that President Trump got elected, according to President Trump in an interview, I think it was with Kristen Welker of NBC, was because of grocery prices. Not the only reason, but a reason, high prices, inflation, especially at the grocery. The Department of Agriculture says that between 2020 and 2022, 42% of crop workers were undocumented immigrants. And in many cases, as you know, these migrants do jobs many Americans do not want to do. So, how does President Trump make sure that the effort to deport people who are not in this country legally doesn't end up hurting Americans who want safe borders, absolutely, but also don't want to see even more higher prices in groceries?
Okay, the murder is about to begin.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's not your position, Jake. You're just asking the question that we should supply America's food with exploitative illegal alien labor. I obviously don't think that's what you're implying. Only 1% of alien workers in the entire country work in agriculture. The top destination for illegal aliens are large cities like New York, like Los Angeles, and small industrial towns, of course, all across the heartland, as we've seen with the Biden floods. None of those illegal aliens are doing farm work. Those 30,000 illegal aliens that Joe Biden dumped into Springfield.
I'm talking about the ones that are.
But I'm explaining this. It's important to understand.
No, you're kind of changing the subject. I mean, I'm talking about the ones.
I will give me 30 minutes. I'll go as deep as you want on this.
We don't have
you and your audience.
I don't have a I'm talking about the ones that work in the agriculture industry.
You
can come back and we can talk about the ones in the cities. I swear.
I'll do the whole answer. The illegal aliens that Joe Biden brought into our country are not full stop doing farm work.
Correct.
They are not. The illegal aliens he brought in from Venezuela, from Haiti, from Nicaragua, they are not doing farm work. They are in our cities collecting welfare. As for the farmers, there is a guest worker program that President Trump supports. Over time as well, we will transition into automation, so we'll never have to have this conversation ever again. But there's no universe in which this nation is going to allow the previous president to flood our nation with millions and millions of illegal aliens who just get to stay here. And we are especially not going to allow a subset of those illegal aliens to rape and murder our citizens. So we are going to unapologetically enforce our immigration laws. And as I'm sure you will celebrate, we are going to unleash the power and might of the U.S. government to eradicate the presence of transnational threats on our soil.
So, bingo. Jake Tapper has just been verbally murdered.
And you know what?
As he should.
No one's complaining about orange prices. Nobody's complaining about apple prices. That's not, and I don't think illegal immigrants are picking eggs up from chickens. I don't
think so. You know, but when you set fire and blow up how many chicken farms in it, something's going on.
Who's going to pick the crap? Same argument slave owners used 150 years ago. Dems haven't changed.
That's a good point. Great
not.
point, Aiken. That is absolutely true. And I think Dragon Hair put this one. Most migrant oops, dude.
Go ahead. I was going to put it up. Go ahead.
Most migrant workers are here legally. That is correct. Under that program,
the
they
ones
are here legally.
Right. Correct.
Yep. And if the whole argument that the media is just trying, and Stephen Miller is just an amazing spokesperson. Oh, Deputy White House Press Secretary, isn't that who he is? Or White House Chief of Staff or something? Yeah.
Deputy White House Chief of Staff.
Yep. And yes. And he's just an amazing spokesperson for the White House in general and for President Trump's agenda, which we voted for. I think they forget. And people like Jake Tapper and The View and everybody else out there is forgetting the fact that we actually voted for this, that the American public resoundingly voted and majority voted for this.
President Trump got 56% of the Hispanic vote.
Yep. Correct. 56%.
See, that right there tells me all I need to know.
That's all I need to know.
We're doing the right thing.
The press secretary was asked about illegals, and this response was perfect.
Carolina on immigration. Of the 3,500 arrests ICE has made so far since President Trump came back into office, can you just tell us the numbers? How many have a criminal record versus those who are just in the country illegally?
All of them, because they illegally broke our nation's laws and therefore they are criminals as far as this administration goes. I know the last administration didn't see it that way, so it's a big culture shift in our nation to view someone who breaks our immigration laws as a criminal, but that's exactly what they are.
The question in itself, how many are criminals and how many are here illegally? You just said the word illegally. You asked that question. She's front row on the press. They're here illegally. What don't we understand about the English language? Do we not know the definition of
our
illegally?
laws to get here?
Broke law to get here. How many of them? All of them. Great answer. I know that's a big culture shift. I get that. But they're here illegally. Perfect.
They're not. The media, the mainstream media is not ready for this administration because this administration's A, going to call them out.
Yep.
B, going to make them look like complete buffoons because guess what? These individuals now in this Trump administration are going to be a lot better than the previous ones because they're going to say, no, that's not correct. This is exactly what's going on.
Correct. So, Jim, it's Wednesday. We got to play Warrior Shield. When we come back, our top 5 list, we will get into that nonsense, but stay tuned for that. We will be right back.
Warrior Shield Foundation is here to unite, honor, and provide support for veterans, first responders, and Gold Star family members. The foundation will enable them to find the help they need through direct assistance, or by connecting them with our shared vision network. Using data-driven models, we provide solutions that make a long-lasting difference. We, along with our partners, are dedicated to bringing together like-minded groups and individuals who have committed to making a difference in the lives of our hardworking, everyday heroes. We bridge the gap by connecting warriors or their families with the assistance they deserve and require, such as service dogs, wheelchairs, counseling, scholarships, and team-building retreats, to name a few. You can help right now to make a difference for those who have helped and protected us all. Warrior Shield Foundation, selflessly doing for those who need it most.
It's a long way to home, but you won't take the hard road all alone. Just look to your left and look to your right. You were born to fight.
That is correct, folks. It is warriorshield.org. That is warriorshield.org. Listen, again, this is the organization that helps organizations.
Yep.
This is the absolute best of the best. And they pick their recipients every year very, very carefully, very vetted out, true organizations that need our assistance. This year it's the Corporal Chad O Foundation for PTSD. We will be having representatives from that organization and perhaps family members from Corporal Chad on the show and on the show soon. But this is also important. Tickets are now on sale officially as of today for the Warrior Weekend, September 5th and 6th. Am I right on the dates, Jim?
Yep. I believe so. Yep.
September 5th and 6th in beautiful, sunny, not snowy, Orlando, Florida. Please go there and buy your tickets, donate. There will be auction items. I don't think they're up yet, but as we get into the year, there will be auction items you can bid on. You can buy them right there on site, or you can buy them on their website. I mean, but please go donate to them and check out the actual Warrior Weekend if you can make it. And I know there's a bunch of people that we know are coming. So Rich put that down there. I'm sorry, Rich from Grit Gear. He put the 7th is the Gator Hunt as well, which is always a big. Colonel Gadsden went on the Gator Hunt last year. So the 5th, 6th. So the 5th will be the concert, 6th is the gala, 7th will be the Gator Hunt. I think they're going to have something else on the 7th. Jim was kind of telling me before air, but we'll get into that once we confirm it.
Yeah, make sure when you go out there, do the VIP. I
do the VIP
a little more, but you're so much involved. You get to see.
Yep.
I mean, you're there. You get the concert. You got to go to the concert. What the concert's going to be phenomenal.
The meal was phenomenal. The gala was absolutely. I mean, that really tops off the thing as well too. I mean, so you have the pre-concert, which is a blast.
Great people, great food, great people,
great organization.
Yeah, it's great organization, folks. You will not be disappointed if you go.
Nope.
And you get to see us.
Yeah, what a true honor.
And Mike and To the Point podcast, I believe he's going to bring his crew, but I'm not.
I believe so. Or if not, maybe just him. I'm not sure yet. We'll verify all that.
25 tickets to be able to shoot. That's the one. That's the one I was.
Yep, we have 25 tickets to be able to shoot with Tig and Boone. I mean, come on, guys.
These are 13 hours. These are Secret Soldiers of Benghazi.
Benghazi heroes.
Tig and Boone.
That Tig and Boone will be there. You get to meet them. Folks, I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. It's a true honor. We are so honored to be a part of that family. They took us in as if we had belonged forever. And boy, are we grateful for it. Warriorshield.org. Please go there and help support them. Tickets on sale now. Go buy them. To the point just said here. The whole crew. Perfect, brother. Fantastic. Cannot wait. I cannot wait to meet Leo and Vince as well. So that'll be great. Warriorshield.org. Again, warriorshield.org. Jim, what time is it? Not my favorite top 5. That's all.
I liked it. I thought it was good.
I just
you need to apologize to Buckeye because it was her idea.
No. It's not that. It's just literally I had like one day to think about this whole thing.
I know so it was tough on you.
Yeah, that was basically it. So I want to make sure too in this top 5 list That. Oh, we got a top 5
I got a
already
quick
on the
thing on
soundtrack.
Aiken.
And they're good. They're really good.
Did not do, but I commend him on those because I did not do the soundtracks where it was mostly music.
Oh, no, they're that's to me, those I have
Yeah.
one in mind, which I
I
think is
did not,
phenomenal,
but
and that's
the
those are all
Patriot
good.
and Braveheart. Well, let's put it up.
Put it up there. There's Aiken's top 5. Gladiator, phenomenal. The original, not the other. Glory, amazing. Jurassic Park, of course. The Patriot and Braveheart. Braveheart's music to me is that musical score is top notch. And by the way, some of those are some of my favorite movies as well. Some on my list are not my favorite movies. This had nothing to do with them being my favorite movies.
Right.
To me, it was just my favorite soundtracks.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you,
soundtracks.
I didn't even think to put stuff like that. I just put singing where actually was singing going on. So,
oh, that's great. I have one on mine that's just music.
I love those.
There's no singing. But Jim, do you want to start or you want me to do it?
Let's do Buckeye real quick.
Oh, Last Action Hero, good one. Purple Rain, of course. Empire Records, The Crow, and Dazed and Confused. So there might be some on that list that's on mine. So
I think there's one on mine.
Yeah, I think there's one. There's definitely one. So absolutely great list as well. Thank you for doing that. Jim, do you want me to go first then?
Go ahead.
You're okay.
You're back.
Here we go, folks. Top 5 movie soundtracks. Look, I even did the background. A little movie reel with the music notes. My number 5. Again, this may be controversial, some of these, but it's not 5 favorite movies, 5 favorite movie soundtracks. Wayne's World. Absolutely love the soundtrack from Wayne's World.
Yeah.
I think it also has to do with some of the, scenes that were playing during those songs. I love that movie. I'm a big Mike Myers
Ballroom
fan.
Blitz is fantastic.
Ballroom Blitz is just phenomenal. But I just think the soundtrack in general, with Hot and Bothered with Cinderella, it's just like Time Machine. There was just so many different genres in there that they played that it was just, to me, one of the best soundtracks ever, in my opinion. Number 4, Rock of Ages. Again, was a movie.
I was going to put that on.
But you cannot beat that soundtrack.
No, you can't.
Movie.
If you're an 80s fan, yeah.
If you're an 80s fan, and I'm still stuck.
I mean, when Alan Baldwin and Russell Brand sing to each other.
Yeah, I know. Again, not fans of some of the actors, or not fans. It's not like my top 5 movie. Right. It's I love the movie, but wouldn't be my. But as far as
almost made my list. That's a great
soundtrack. It had to be on there. Number 3. Interstellar. So there is my music only.
Wow.
This by far was Hans Zimmer's best score ever. The timing of it, the music itself, everything from down to the chimes and the beat, everything that went along with that movie and where it was placed. So it's not just, to me, the soundtrack. It's more of like where it was happening in the movie too, and how it resonated with me. I think it's one of the greatest movies made. I honestly love Interstellar. I'm not a huge sci-fi movie guy either, but I thought that movie was great, and I thought the score was just absolutely phenomenal, and I could just listen to it without watching the movie. So it's on my list. That's what I did. Number 2, Dazed and Confused. Of course, it's going to be on that list. No doubt about it. Look at it. Yeah. Look at the list: Black Sabbath, Leonard Skinner, Kiss, Nazareth, Ted Nugent, Alice Cooper, ZZ Top. I mean, Dazed and plus it was a great movie. I thought it was. What was funny was they couldn't get the rights to Led Zeppelin's music, which is obvious. Dazed and Confused, the Led Zeppelin song. They couldn't get the rights to it, so the whole how they had to change things in order for that to happen was pretty impressive too. But just great movie. Yep, I agree. Bam, Dale. Yep, you're right. That made my number 2. Number 1, Jim is going to absolutely hate. Many of you might be thinking, oh, what?
Go ahead.
You're going to hate it. Can you guess it? You want to try to guess it before I put it on there? No?
There's so many out there.
Because this was a movie based off a full album. Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Oh, God.
You hate them. I know you hate them. It was a movie. I say? I mean, it's one of the greatest albums ever made. and
You
turned it into
were
a feature
on
film.
a roll until that shit.
Listen, that whole album is absolutely
I
pure gold,
never got
bro.
it. That's fine. I never got it. I
The
don't get
movie
Pink Floyd at all.
is stupid. The soundtrack is absolutely, and I mean, I'm talking early 80s. I was infatuated with this album. That AC/DC's Back in Black. My first record album ever was Kiss Alive, right? so, I mean, like, there's a lot of like just absolutely, and when when they turned it into the movie, and I just sat there and watched it from beginning to end, only for the music. Again, weird ass movie. Not exactly in tune with their political beliefs, that's for sure. Love the music. So that's mine. I knew that was gonna get you. I knew
it's always I just don't
gonna get you.
and again, it's me.
Mine too, Dale. Yep.
All right.
The Wall was amazing. We're playing comments. Buckeye.
I
get it, Dale. Not a fan, but fair choice. Thank you. I appreciate that. So
like Dragon, Singles, Queen of the Damned,
Last Action Hero, Desperado, Kill Bill was I could have put, I don't know, probably every Quentin Tarantino movie in. Honestly, their soundtracks were heavy metal. Yep. Braveheart, Out of Africa. Meet Joe Black was good too. Somewhere in Time. Yeah. Somewhere in Time was a good soundtrack. I could have put Goodfellas in there. I love the soundtrack from Goodfellas. So it was a hard list.
Rich.
Greek Garris, Yesterday.
I just can't do
I can't do the Beatles.
Can't do the Beatles.
Guardians of the Galaxy
was
100%.
Great.
The Good, the
Love
Bad, and the Ugly. Wayne's World, thank you, Dazed and Confused. So I mean, we got some agreement.
It's almost
here.
like you guys got together and talked about it.
Yeah, look at this crazy Southpaw. Love me some Pink Floyd.
Oops.
Yep. I'm telling you, Jim, I think you're in the minority on this one.
That's fine.
So, which is fine. It's absolutely fine. Absolutely
see my list.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So, folks,
Here we go, folks. If I had a drum roll, I'd
lead
do
off
it.
with a couple things. Okay,
These are my. Oh, that's probably on there, isn't it? The Bodyguard is on there.
No. Now, these are my top 5. Guys, I apologize to you. I went with singing. I did not go with music, the score, the musical scores. But yes, if I went with musical scores, this would be completely different. Okay. I would have Braveheart on there. I'd have Patriot on there. I would
have more time to think about it.
So I didn't even. So that's my error. But okay. So my number 5. No one's probably going to hear of this, but when you see it, you're going to know why I picked it. Pure Country, George Strait.
Good. It was good.
I am a huge George Strait fan.
I'm surprised it's not number 1 for you.
But I loved it. And these are soundtracks that I listen to all the time. But folks, I'm sorry, all that's messed up. It didn't look like that when I first put it up there. But love George Strait. He's my favorite. He's my all-time favorite guy, and love that soundtrack, especially Across My Heart. That's one of my wife and my songs. So, but anyway, that's number 5. Number 4.
That was a good one.
Top Gun.
Yep, no doubt.
I mean, Danger Zone, Take My Breath Away, Mighty Wings, Cheap Trick. Whenever you have Cheap Trick on something,
I know. Why wouldn't you?
I love Cheap Trick.
Can you not?
And
that's a great song.
Loverboy, a not probably as well known Loverboy song, but love the soundtrack. It was great. I really enjoyed that.
No, you're good. That was solid choice.
Footloose, 1984. Footloose. The remake was trash. It was terrible. But Dancing in the Sheets. I love Shalimar. I mean, come on, Almost Paradise. Anytime Ann Wilson sings a song, she's up there. I mean,
this is your type of music. This is your type of music.
From Heart. I'm Free. Heaven Help the Man. I mean, it's just a great. You play.
It's a solid choice.
Now, here's probably where it might. This one might be a little. Here's where I'm probably going to get made fun of. The Greatest Showman. I flat out love this
great music.
Soundtrack. You don't have to like the movie, guys. You don't have to like the movie, but the songs are great. I mean, they're just. I've got an album. I've got the album.
Yeah, and now you know why they're good too, because of the scenes in the movie as well, and the fact that Hugh Jackman really can sing. I mean, that guy's got some pipes, right?
Very good.
So that helps. But I understand that being on your list.
Yes. If you know
top
me,
five. It wouldn't be on my top five, but it's good sound. It's good
now,
music.
I hope everybody agrees with my number one because, guys, this was an awesome soundtrack.
Yeah,
Purple
100%.
Rain. Now,
100%.
hey, Rich out there, you smart ass, give me a hard time about that one. Rich out there, thumbs down, Jim. Thumbs down.
Thumbs down on three, Jim. Thumbs down. I know I wanted to keep playing them. They're just coming in so fast. I can't.
But Purple Rain, guys.
Thumbs
I
down
mean,
on
the
one,
movie,
Jim.
the movie was terrible. It really wasn't great.
Yeah,
but
Prince
the
was
songs,
quite the talent.
I mean,
though,
Prince.
Man.
Prince, guys. We're talking Prince.
Boy, that guy could he play guitar, man.
Yeah.
And not to mention the songwriting skills he had. I mean, Prince was solid. He's solid entertainer. Don't get me wrong. It again wouldn't make my top five, but though I have a lot of memories from the time those songs came out and all that. And so I understand it. I am not as down on it. I think Purple Rain was a great soundtrack.
Yeah.
So I'm again wouldn't be number one, but Jim, that's why we have these things. You know,
Nancy Wilson's hotter, but Anne is a much better singer.
Oh, Nancy Wilson's hotter, no doubt.
Yeah. And I love Anne.
Of course, she's a better singer.
Her voice is phenomenal. I mean,
she's the one who's singing most of it.
At least Buckeye agreed with one of mine.
Yeah, it was my
and then Rich, you smart ass.
Oh my goodness, Jim, are you kidding me? I know. This is what I'm talking about. This is what you're in for, folks. On every top five most of the time.
And Buckeye, you're right. There's a lot of things out there that the soundtrack
made the movie watchable.
Made the movie.
Pink Floyd's The Wall is a terrible movie. Trust me. I think the movie itself is goofy and terrible, but it's typical Pink Floyd, right? Just but the soundtrack I love.
But that's
made
okay.
The movie.
I mean, it's different taste for different people. That's what it's all about.
It is. I wanted to put this up to Rhea. www.corporalshadow. I forgot to do that. Buckeye.org. Please go there as well. Thank you for doing that. Yeah. So I mean, there was a lot. Like I can't even get through like half of these. You know. Here comes the rag on gin segment.
It always happens, Aiken. Always.
Maybe that's what we should start calling it. The rag on gin segment.
I have tastes that are different from most people, right? Because I can go from a musical, I can go up to listening to Judas Priest. I mean, I even have Beethoven and Mozart on CDs, and I can do that. I know
I have a wide variety of genres.
And if you want to take my man card, take my man card. But these are the soundtracks that I listen to all the time when they were out.
Make my ears bleed. You know, it's more headache and pain that I get from your list. What is our next top five going to be, Jim? We have not decided, have we?
No.
Yeah, you probably have decided for me, like you did this one.
Actually, Buckeye decided this one.
So she can decide the next one.
Hard time.
Anybody want to throw some suggestions out there before we end the show? Please go ahead and do that. Would be absolutely.
We can try. Maybe top five hairband songs. Songs.
What do you consider a hairband? So here we go.
80s hairband.
So only in the 80s?
Motley Crue.
Not 90s?
No, because I listen to country music most of the time in the 90s.
Well, what's that got to do with it? That doesn't.
I don't know of a whole lot of other than Dockin. I mean, you have a couple here. Heavy metal soundtrack. Heavy metal is the great.
We got a suggestion here. We got a suggestion. Top 5 HBO shows. Top 5 of our most favorite top 5 topics.
That's pretty good.
That'll come someday soon. Top 5 HBO shows. Does that include miniseries? Let's do this.
Come on.
Let's do this. Top 5 lead singers. That's
number one. The HBO show. Come on.
Right? Yeah, we know it.
You and I would agree on that.
Hey,
we would actually agree.
We would agree. It's Game of Thrones already off the top of the bat.
Yeah.
But miniseries could be a different situation. Top 5 lead singers. I like that one. That means any genre.
I'm not. Rich has been mean to me today. So nope, I'm not picking it.
I'm doing it, Jim. You'll hear my top 5 Monday. We're doing it. Top 5 lead singers.
I'm doing it different.
I know. I like top
I'm not
female bands, singers. We'll do top 5 lead singers. Bloopers from 2 guys. Number 5 is Jim. Number 4 is Jim.
Yeah,
3 is Jim.
I bet you anything.
Number 1 is Jim. I like the top 5 female
Let's do
bands and
that.
singers too.
Let's do that Wednesday. We'll do top 5 lead singers Monday and the top
then
5
top
female
5
band singers.
bands. Yep. Okay. So we got next week's, guys. Think about it. Next Monday, top 5 lead singers. And then on Wednesday, top 5 female bands / singers.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting choice. Okay. We got it. That's what we're going to do. Folks, listen, we can't thank you enough again for joining. I want to again thank Crystal for joining us today. It was absolutely a pleasure hearing her and seeing her passion and hearing her story. Please go support her at wheelchairsforwarriors.org. Don't forget about our good friends at Grit Gear Apparel and Lock and Load Coffee. Please go purchase some items from them. You will not be disappointed. Use coupon code 2guys, get 10% off your order. And don't forget about warriorshield.org. So a couple of orgs today and a couple .coms. We got lockandloadcoffee.com, gritgearapparel.com, warriorshield.org, and wheelchairsforwarriors.org. Keep supporting those people if you can.
I know
Jim,
we ask a lot, to donate and stuff like that, but they're for great causes, folks. And even if it's like maybe this month do this one and next month do that one, and just kind of go back and forth because
split up
these
your
groups
funds,
need it.
Yeah, skip the coffee at the coffee shop one month, throw that towards one of these organizations or companies.
Or if you go into Starbucks, skip 2 coffees.
It's really skip 2 coffees, and if you go into Starbucks, stop it. Thank you. Got that. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate that. Aiken, great show. Thank you as well. See you on Monday.
Dragon, stop it.
Whitehouse.org too for you guys to get your press passes. That's right. I'm telling you, I love it. Buckeye, great show today, guys. See you all on Monday and have a great weekend. You too, as well, folks. God bless you all. God bless America. Jim, again, thank you for everything you do for me and for the show and for my family.
Real quick, let me just add something real quick because Rich talked about it on the last show. Folks, you see these commercials, you see the Warrior Shield, the Grit Gear, the Lock and Load. I will take as much credit as you want to give me. However, those are all done by Dale. And the Corporal Chad O that he put up. I mean, the guy is he does a lot of great work. So I just wanted to point that out because Rich did talk about that on the show.
Yeah, I heard that.
And it
is
every one of those commercials you created, and you just got a talent when it comes to that. So,
sure. Yeah.
But I'll take all the credit anybody wants to give.
We did it. We all did it. Couldn't have done it without the footage or the help or the words or anything like that. So, I mean, it's a team effort, but thank you. I do appreciate that. Folks, Tarna, we'll see you on Monday as well. Hopefully. Thank you. You all have a great weekend. Again, thank you for spending your morning with us. It's so appreciated. Don't forget to go to the patriotsprayer.com and support there. Like, follow, and share on Rumble. Please go to our X channel at 2guys1coup. Go to Patriots Prayer X channel at the Patriots Pray. Please follow, support, like, share these episodes. It's so very important. That's how we get the word out there with these great organizations. It's super, super important to do that. Buckeye says she wouldn't be anywhere else, and we know that, and we appreciate that. You don't even know how much we appreciate it. All of you for joining here. Thank you for your support. Jim, you're the best, my friend. Until Monday, have a great weekend. God bless you. God bless America. Let's keep deporting those illegals. We'll talk soon.
I know, and folks, calm down. The prices will come down.
Yep.
Give them a chance.
To get eggs. Give them a chance.
Give it a chance. It's only been a week. We've sent 7,500 back.
It's already his fault. Jim, we will talk to you later. I have to go now. Hit the outro music. See you soon.